Hello, I'm the DM, and you're listening to Campaign 2 of Fools and Flagons, The Tales of Archeron. We livestream on Twitch at twitch.tv/foolsandflagons. That's fools, the letter N, flagons, every Friday at 7 p.m. Central for Tales of Archeron and 6 p.m. Central for Storm King's Chaos. If you'd like to join our community and talk not just about D&D, but other games as well, consider joining our Discord. The links can be found below in the description. Do you like us? Like, really, really like us? Consider donating to our coffee page at ko-fi.com/foolsandflagons. The links can also be found in the description. Donations and memberships are never required and always appreciated. We have no gated content for members only, and all proceeds go straight back into making Fools and Flagons an even better experience, and it helps to keep the podcast alive and well. Are you ready for some D&D? All right then. Grab your drinks and raise your glasses. It's time for the Fools and Flagons podcast.
Grab your drink and raise your glass. Make a mess and kick some ass. Dungeon Master has no chance. It's time for Fools and Flagons. Raid the dungeons and slay the dragon. Sharpen your sword and prep your wagons. There'll be death and tons of magic. It's time for Fools and Flagons. Time for Fools and Flagons. It's time for Fools and Flagons.
Well, hello everyone. Happy Friday. Happy holidays. We are Fools and Flagons, the best D&D group ever. Yay!
A solid maybe.
Hard to back up on that one. So, for those who are brand new here, this is a tabletop campaign made up entirely by me. And I try to make a good story for people to enjoy. That was me dropping my pen lid. So, yeah. I'm kind of just not on my game tonight. Just stick to the
Playing
script.
cheesy, right?
Need more alcohol.
You know, I was super tempted to have some, but
Crack one open.
no. We'll see how the night goes. Maybe I'll pop something open. So, potentially, maybe, possibly, shorter-ish stream. We'll see how things go. Two of us in here have a very long day tomorrow, so we want to respect their time to some extent. I see that one's shaking their head, the other is nodding their head, so...
It's me!
I'm going to be picking up most of the heavy stuff anyway.
She just looks so fucking done.
He's about to murder.
So, want to give a big thank you to Martyr, Gelatinous Cube, Cargo, and Spazoid for being Tavern Patron members over on our coffee page. Your support of us is very much appreciated, and we cannot thank you enough for all the months and years that you guys have been helping to keep this podcast up and going.
Centuries.
If you would like a spot at the bar with these lovely people, consider our coffee page and becoming a Tavern Patron. If you're watching us live on Twitch, we want to thank you for your follows, subscriptions, and bits. We apologize that we will not respond to them verbally, but got plenty of people here watching the chat that will be
Distracted.
and will see, boom, there. Nim just did the thing.
I did the thing.
So, there's no other news. I don't believe there's anything that's going to hinder us from playing the next time around, which will be,
When will that be?
in 2025.
What?
Just after the
It'll
new
be
year.
in the future.
The far off
Flying
future of
cars and
2025.
Oh, dude.
Well, if there's nothing else that anyone has to say or share, then grab your drinks and raise your glasses. It's time for Fools and Flagons.
I drink all mine, so... Water.
Coward.
No, I don't want to go back downstairs. That means I have to get up and move.
And interact with people.
Yeah.
Real people. Alright. So, last time on the Tales of Archeron, The Tempests had gotten into a bit of trouble in the capital city of Chunsu, deep in the heart of Takatari. To pay for their crimes, they were placed under country arrest and sentenced to community service. But they weren't tasked with cleaning up streets or helping the local orphanage. They were given a supposedly very dangerous task that the Shogun had been loath to risk his own manpower for. The Tempests were set off to the mountains far to the west of Chunsu into the sequoia forests of the Yutsushige lumberyard. Their goal was to find a special moss that grew on the roots of the Weeping Sequoia. This moss was renowned for its medicinal properties and was sorely needed to help cure a plague that was currently being contained in a harbor town to the north. Along the way, their babysitter, Tanaka, was nearly killed by a malevolent spirit, but with the help of a new orcish ally known as Lakin, Tanaka was rescued and the Tempests continued along their journey. Lakin's help was not completely free, however, and in return for helping them on their journey, Lakin also had a task that he needed help doing in an area where a certain feathery friend was supposedly waiting for the Tempests to rescue. We rejoin them now as Cassie's sanctuary reaches an end to the western road, and the Tempests get to know their ally a little bit better. So, Moriko, you were flying in Eagle, Hawk, Owl? What
Hawk.
were you? Hawk.
Hawk.
You were in Hawk form, being your little druid, purple, pinkish feathered self. The sun was beginning to dip along the horizon. It's getting very, very late afternoon on into evening, and you see ahead that the wagon will eventually reach a T in the road. Where the road ends, it goes far off to the left, way to the south, and as far to the right, or to the north on your right, as you can see. Even with your elevation and hawkish eyes, you're not able to see the end of either stretch of the road. Straight ahead is more or less a long swath of rolling hills and fields that eventually, far off in the distance, you see what looks to be greenery of trees way, way, way off in the distance just before you see a massive mountain range that's just barely kissing the horizon. The rest of you, if I'm not mistaken, are inside the wagon. Who was on top driving? I believe Tanaka was left up there.
Yeah, he's by himself, but Mariko is keeping an eye on him.
Anyone else?
I'm inside.
The evening is yours, so if there's anything that anyone wishes to do, now is the time.
Have we had a short rest, Dungeon Master?
It's been the better part of a day, so you've had several short rests.
Get all my spells back.
Yay, I'm screwed!
I'm still exhausted. Level 2.
Yes.
I thought it was 1.
Yeah, you should have 1 point of exhaustion left.
Oh, well, I'm fine with that.
I was about to say, I'm almost
I mean, you can go back to 2 if you want.
Nope, too late. I already clicked the button.
It has been clicked.
You cannot unclick the click. So, what is everyone doing? As those of you inside, if I'm not mistaken, Kasumi was up in the front bay window. You would see the end of the road approaching within the next 5-10 minutes or so, and Cassie comes to a slow stop.
I don't see this. If only somebody knew what's happened.
Well, the cart came to a stop, you goober.
Well, but the internal magic of the cart makes it so that travel isn't very bumpy, isn't very jerky. Like, for those of you inside to feel anything, the wagon would basically be having to tippy-tip, like, almost 45 degrees for you to really notice too terribly much.
I'm gonna take my sip of my Victory hot chocolate here.
Kasumi is just gonna talk silently to Cassie. Why did we stop?
We reached the end of the road. I don't know where to go.
I don't know either.
Should I ask Moriko's boyfriend?
Probably.
Okay.
There's a brief pause, and you and Moriko, with your perception, hear Tanaka shout in startlement as he just hears a disembodied voice next to his ear, and there's no one on the roof except for him. Kasumi, you hear some very colorful swearing in your own home language from up above. And after a minute or so, you see the wagon begin to make a left turn and start heading towards the south.
Alright. Small note. There was definitely the faintest sound of what could be equivalent to a hawk laughing. Almost like seagull.
All right.
I'm gonna get some food. Does anybody want some food?
I am fine, thank you.
Do you even eat?
No,
Like, you never have to eat.
no,
Can you eat?
yes,
What happens if you do?
nothing.
Yes, that's not good.
You poop, silly.
He's dead. I don't know if he moves. I'm gonna go into the pantry and just get something to snack on. Whatever happens to be in there, I'm gonna munch on.
Okay. You've restocked relatively recently, so you've got a fairly decent larder. You're able to whip up whatever you want. It can be meats, fish.
Something quick and probably dried that I'm not gonna have to prepare at all.
Jerky.
Fair enough. Okay. If there's nothing that anyone wants to do, Mariko, how long are you staying airborne?
Just for a while, and eventually she's going to, like, land behind Tanaka and change back.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
Perception. Disgrace.
Since no one else is gonna
Dirty
do it.
20.
Dirty 20. Okay. From your higher elevation and your sharpened senses as a hawk, you do see a bit more wildlife than you had before. It's still not a lot. There's the occasional bird call that you hear. Your instincts see movement in the taller grasses. Ah, yes. The famous Takatari duck. But it's a lot of it is just small rodents scurrying from point to point. There's nothing terribly large. You've seen skeletons remaining in some of the fields from your vantage point, but while there seems to be a little bit more movement and a little bit more life around here, it's not nearly what you are familiar with being in a healthy area, let's say. Eventually you do come land down behind Tanaka. Are you staying in your hawk form? Or...
Nah, she's gonna shift back.
Okay. You come down and land, and you see that Tanaka has kind of stretched himself out and seems to be lounging on the front driver's seat.
She's not gonna say anything, she's just gonna keep watching the road.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to do?
I'm gonna mosey up to the place where they're sitting at.
Okay. So you make your way up to the tower. You see Mariko sitting on the rooftop, looking straight ahead. You kind of see what looks like Tanaka's got his arms behind his head, and his feet are up on the other side of the bench, and he seems to be relaxing as best as he can.
I will walk up behind him. If I'm quiet enough for him not to notice, awesome. If I'm not, meh.
Make a stealth check.
Sure!
Big bunny clodhoppers.
They're padded. 14. Nothing special.
Okay. You try to be sneaky, but without seeming to move, you hear him speak up. You have news?
9 is coming to check on you. And he just leans over the side of the cart and looks at his face and his complexion.
I am doing about as well as I can be, considering that I was almost dead.
So how's that Takatari hospitality work out for you? He's not laughing. I'm not laughing when I'm saying that. I'm just having a hard time not laughing by saying that.
There are times where I really do not like you.
Listen, there are lots of people that don't like me, but it doesn't mean that I don't somewhat care. So, word of, words, or advice. Strange things happen around us, and usually if there's mischief is a good word for it. Mischief that can happen. Yeah, trouble's another good word for it. It will probably happen around us. So, even if they seem like very nice people, maybe take one of us with you, just in case.
He kind of looks up at you.
I'm smiling.
Just sighs. The sooner we are done with this, the happier I will be.
Yeah, I can believe that.
If my guesstimation is correct, we will be at Yuchushige within a day and a half, especially with the speed that he kind of pulls one of his hands from behind his head and kind of taps the cushion underneath him, as fast as this thing is able to go.
The name is Cassie, but yes, she is very quick.
Yes, we have met.
Zan will just look perplexed and just shake his like, nah. Well, as long as you are feeling okay, that is all as it matters. Avita sen, and he's gonna walk back down.
Dungeon Master.
Sir.
Lakin will be pulling a large manuscript pack, taking out a quill and ink, and writing the events of meeting the Tempests in his journal.
Okay.
We cannot see shit. Shit is
So, Mariko. When Zahn goes down back into the wagon, and you're still sitting there, a few minutes go by, and then you start to hear what sounds like Tanaka mumbling to himself. It's
He's
in the
gonna try to listen in to see. Okay,
I was gonna say,
Takatari.
it is the Takatari language, so it kind of just sounds like he's mumbling to himself.
Can she infer any kind of tone to how he's speaking?
Make an insight check.
27.
7. There doesn't seem to be any urgency or panic. It seems to be almost conversational. There's certain inflections as if he's talking to someone, kind of like how you would vent your frustrations, but kind of to yourself, if that makes sense.
Crazy.
So, I was crazy once.
Still am.
They put me in a room. A rubber room.
It doesn't seem to be overly hostile, but best you can guess is maybe he's just kind of talking to himself to get some of the frustration out. It's difficult to say when you can't tell exactly what it is that he's saying.
She has no desire to even try talking to him right now. Her face just completely stone flat, and she is doing the 1,000-yard stare, but actually paying attention to her surroundings.
Okay. I mean, you've got a fucking rocking passive perception, so...
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Druid got a druid, you know?
Man, I have to try to get past this bitch.
I am cracked out.
Dude, she sees into the next campaign.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She already knows how this one ends. That's why she's so depressed.
God damn, no.
So the evening comes along. Darkness falls over the other side of the mountain. Cassie releases the clockwork fireflies to kind of light up the area around. Lakin, you would see outside the windows of the cart just these little motes of light zooming by, just keeping pace with the wagon. Occasionally it looks like one kind of sticks to the window and kind of moves along a little bit before pulling away and zooming off again.
To try to illustrate that and draw it in my journal.
Okay. Make a performance check for me. See how accurate you can be.
A little bit of guidance. Won't be crazy good. That's a solid 13.
13. It's a bit tricky to get every single detail down. You can definitely infer that they are not living creatures. So you know that there's mechanical bits, but until you could get one like right in front of you, it's a rough sketch. So, as it begins to get darker and later, Mariko, eventually Tanaka will sit up and start to fairly clumsily make his way across the roof. He hadn't been on top there before, and he doesn't exactly know where all the good handholds are. He doesn't quite look at you. He kind of gives a subtle nod as he passes by, and you hear it.
As he was trying to pass her, she just like leaned.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say as he tries to pass you, just go funk.
I know that's the second option, but no, she's just like leaning, putting distance.
Gotcha.
Rip that motherfucker.
You hear the telltale sound of a rumbling stomach as he passes by you. He follows the path that Zahn had taken into the turret and down, goes through the upper floor. Kasumi, you eventually hear the creaking footsteps as Tanaka comes down and sees you sitting there. I hate to impose, but as my pack was left behind, I am suddenly without supplies.
As in food?
Among other things.
Zahn can help you with that.
Just Zahn sitting at the table with big grin on his face.
You see and hear the most audible, frustrated sigh as this man is forced to get aid from you all.
Once he goes over to Zahn, Kasumi's gonna go back out up to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of go lounge in fox form near like the front edge of the roof.
Mm-hmm.
where she can like see over to where Mariko is, but she's just gonna kind of sit there and get some fresh air.
As you go up there and you go to sit, you see one of the clockwork fireflies had landed on Mariko's shoulder and it's gotten a little bit tangled up in her hair, but it's not really strong enough to like tug or rip or anything, so it's just kind of like floundering in just the sea of curls, and
you just see Fluff bapping at it.
from inside the hair, this paw just pat, 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 pat. Anything you would like to do or say, or are you just kind of relaxing and meditating?
She's just gonna go up there in fox form and just sploot on her tummy and just paws hanging over the edge, just looking forward.
Okay.
Got something for Zahn.
You have something for Zahn?
Yeah.
Okay. After Zahn is finished helping Tanaka get something, he says just anything, a meager meal is fine. It can just be porridge, soup, some bread and cheese. He's not terribly picky. He doesn't eat anything lavish. But once that gets squared away, Zahn, Lakin.
Warrior Zahn,
What's from me?
do you have a moment we may speak?
That is 3 freckles past the hair, so I have some time.
You are funny.
I like to think so, but most others don't agree.
I wish to understand cultures, though I am familiar with your native land of Rokusin. Would like to hear tales of your exploits as a warrior.
That's a bad idea.
All stories have worth. Just have but to tell it.
So, do you want before the Tempests or after the Tempests?
Your choice.
Let's
You
do
notice
after
that-
the Tempests. Before the Tempests.
You notice that I have like this big musty journal open and I'm like writing as you're talking.
She's like, are you ready to give me a single word I say down? How about this one? This one? How about this one? Oh, I'm bad at this. Okay, let's do before. The Tempest. So, do you know there's a big, like, evil portal thing in Rokusin is?
Am I aware of this, Dungeon Master?
Make a history check for me.
Guidance. I think I'm going to be aware of this. 19?
You've heard tales. You've never been too far that side of Rokusing. If you've ever actually been to Rokusing, I don't remember if we've discussed this or not. Probably wouldn't have gotten much further away from Volsung, the main city on the southeastern corner. You've definitely heard tales of it. It's not a place that people are usually allowed to go to. Generally kind of kept closed off, dangerous place, sort of very, very evil. Kind of a taboo. Like, people will boast that they've been there, but it's all bluster and lies.
Other than me.
Supposedly, other than him.
I have heard of this place.
So that's where I'm from.
You are from such an evil place.
Well, more accurately, from what I've been told, I came through the thing, and then I was found.
You are not native to Rokusin.
Is native means I have to be born there? Then probably not.
But you are raised there.
From, like, the first recollection of memories that I have, yes.
I think that counts.
Yeah. So when I was younger, people were... Damn, were people scared or just cautious when Zahn was younger?
Well, as maybe even a reminder for you, you were originally red.
Oh, that's right. I left that part out, huh?
Uh-huh.
So yes, people were very confused about this upright, ambulatory, red-furred rabbit person that was able to harness elements.
Well, not initially.
Well, eventually you were able to harness those elements from Valkyrie and, Demon Red Bunny Man, Palpatine shit.
Unlimited power! No, yeah.
Do it.
So
Do
I
it.
relate that. Was red. Then I was taken to... Make sure I'm not getting this backwards. I was taken to Valkyrie, who decided what would be done with me. And then I was given to my father, who is Quancaro son. Oh wait, no, Quancaro. No, I called him son. My dad's name is Quancaro. And he taught me most everything that I know, how to fight, fend for myself. Real quick, is Tanaka still in here?
Yes.
Oh, good. I want him to hear this. I'm not being quiet about any of this. Then when I learned how to fight, I was given, or not given, I was,
Sorry, real quick while you're thinking of it, Pez, where are you?
Everywhere.
Oh, God.
Under the table watching Tanaka, probably.
Yeah.
Like a
Just
puppy
green
waiting for
glowing
food to
orbs.
drop. Okay. Sorry, please continue, sir. I was trying to make sure that I knew where everyone was.
Sorry. So I was then given or joined in, hunting party. And we would go out and practice and hunt creatures like wolves, bears, the occasional dinosaurs that might wander that far north, until we found about Risenhund, which is like a giant. Are you familiar with what the T-Rex is?
Yes, I am familiar with the giant species.
So that, but with feathers. And, yes, its name means giant chicken. So then we went out with that party, and this is kind of where he eyes over at Tanaka. And that is where I figured out I was a cleric by accidentally electrocuting and killing half of the people in my group.
Of a storm within you.
Well, to be fair, I was getting close to dying and... knee-jerk reaction, I guess, to shoot lightning out of my hands, or the sky, and unfortunately, I had no idea how to do that, so I killed like 6 or 7 of my good friends. I'd have sucked.
Dark omen.
Yeah, shit like that usually happens around me. No idea why.
Perhaps.
If you'll stare through the chair.
Perhaps, given time. Maybe I can help you find some answers, if you still have the question.
Well, to be fair, I can actually go ask the thing from the realm where I'm at any point. I just don't really want to, I think.
Is it fear that grips you?
You just see, Zahn just looks off into the distance and you just, ah! And, swirling red and purple is just yeah. Does that about do it?
Lakin, from the limited amount of time that you've spoken to Zahn and his general bluster and demeanor, him talking about this realm, this creature, is the first time that you've seen legitimate hesitation and worry from him.
So, that being said, I have to kind of take No, not take is not the right word. Wrestle? Wrestle is a good mannerism for it. With the fact that I'm from that place, and possibly made from the creatures that fought hold 1 second, I forgot the god's name. DM, God of Knightly Kingdoms.
I'm so tempted to make you make a history check to see if you can remember. You know what? Make a religion check.
We're good. 21.
Kadal.
Yes, and
the only reason I say that is because knowing Zahn's like personality towards the Knightly Kingdom is like, yeah, I know they have a god, but he's a puny god. Fuck him. I don't need to know about him.
Puny god.
Kadal.
Yes. So, the creatures that fought Kadal in legends that tried to consume this world, like, I might be related in some way, shape, or form, or created from it, or the realms is... yeah, it's like... I keep that deep down inside.
Very well.
So, yeah, and then I continued raiding this Rokasinians. We were called pillaging and taking things from the Knightly Kingdom. And then I got caught, and then I went to jail for as long as I was supposed to. And then I escaped. And then I met these Goobas.
Very good. Where is the... My hunt is probably not the best word, but my seeking of the Tempests. Where is the large Sheen man?
He is somewhere in Aslan. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you.
But he is still a part of the Tempest.
As far as I'm concerned, yes. He's just off doing his own important things. Helping in his own
Who's
way.
his name? I lean forward to write.
Zahn squints and has to be like, do I fuck with him?
It's a death note.
His name is Brick. Yes. Did I name him Kasumi?
She's upstairs on top of the roof. She can't hear you.
Oh, DM. Thaumaturgy. Kasumi.
Okay. Kasumi, with him using thaumaturgy, you hear the windows rattle and the sound of his voice echoing through the wood and everything. The whole wagon seems to shake with him bellowing your name.
She sits there. Okay. Does it sound urgent? Does his tone sound urgent?
Make an insight check for me. Pez, I'm not sure how sensitive your hearing would be, but that was really
Very.
fucking loud. Tanaka even kind
Yes.
of like put his hands on his ears and is just glaring at Zahn. What'd you
And
roll?
I have a radar dish, so sound comes into the dish.
A very wobbly radar dish.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. It seems to be the general impertinent Zahn. Nothing that's like, come save me. It's just Zahn.
That's more of I need a pull point,
She's
Sorry, what'd you say, Moriko?
prove a point.
Oh, prove a point. Okay, sorry. Carry on.
she's not gonna move. She's gonna shapeshift back into human form. But now she's like laying on her stomach, like propped up on her elbows. And she's just gonna like quietly, Cassie, can you find out what Zahn wants?
Okay,
Okay.
Zahn, you hear beside you.
Kasumi wants to know what you want.
Ah!
What? Look, you shouted first.
True.
Don't make me do it.
Does Kasumi remember if I named Brick? I think I named Brick. Pez, do you remember?
What?
Kasumi, did you name Brick?
No, it was either Zon or Vanera. I don't remember.
It was either you or Vanera.
Ah, yes, me. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I named him.
Was that what he wanted?
Huh?
Oh gosh. And she just like lays her head down in her arms.
Tanaka has heard this disembodied voice speaking and being spoken to, and he just takes another bite of whatever he's been munching on. I cannot wait to be rid of myself of you.
Why?
You're strange, and I wish to go back to normality.
Yeah.
Soon.
You have to deal with it for like... Wait, how long has it been? Like a week?
Too long.
Yeah. You have to deal with it for that. I have to deal with being it. Count yourself lucky.
Right. And he just kind of puts
No one
his...
does that shit, does he?
No, he doesn't. he just kind of like mouth open, audibly shuts, and then just goes back to whatever he's eating.
Would
And
have
yeah.
words with Pez as well. Is he present?
What?
You hear the voice from under the table.
Oh.
Little ally of mine. What are you doing down there?
This is where I sleep.
Under the table.
Yeah.
It is all right. Wish to know more about you as well.
Okay. What you want to know?
Carry interesting weapon. Are you the creator of such thing?
I can make many of things, but if you want to see some weapons, let me... I'll climb up on the table and then just start unloading Doom Guy.
How many firearms do you currently have?
A lot.
Oh, please.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How he's not encumbered, we'll never know.
He is.
He's not encumbered by guns. He's encumbered by coins.
That doesn't make sense! He's like the size of my leg!
I only have 4 weapons on me. I think I put everything else in my bag of holding, of which I can pull out.
It's up to you.
Going like full John Wick right now, just laying out your guns.
John
So
Wick
far
would
your
be
count is
jealous
at
of
4.
Pez.
So, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 7 things.
Interesting.
Uh,
Is fire what?
Pez, out of curiosity, what configuration is the multi-tool in? Is it still in the rifle state?
Is in, I believe last time was in pistol form.
That's right, you did unload. Okay.
They fire all sorts of things, primarily little tiny bullets of lead, which can eventually poison them in the future, so lead poisoning kind of deadly, but it doesn't really count as poison damage because it takes like 30 years for that to take effect. Anyway, it shoots stuff.
Interesting. And you made all of these.
I made 2 of them.
There is another walks these plains. Do this.
What do you mean?
There are others who can create weapons like these.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's tons.
I have not seen these in my travels.
You want to hold one?
Are these kobold sized?
No.
No. No, they are not. One of them is. There's one that's in a pistol sort of configuration that looks to be leagues more complicated and more well designed than the others. From your own practice with the arcane, you can definitely tell that that one is the most powerful in his arsenal. The others seem to be more the size that you would expect that would fit like Kasumi or Zan's hand. For you, they'd be a little bit small in your larger hands, except for maybe the shotgun.
I'll hand him the shotgun if he wants to.
Sure.
So is this like a double barrel for James's knowledge?
I believe it's a double barrel break action, if I remember right.
RNC Raven Crow shotgun is a lever action.
Lever action, that's right.
Double barreled.
Do each one of these weapons fire the bullets you speak of?
All but one, and it's this one.
I'll tap the multi-tool, the intricate-looking one.
Interesting. You mind if I draw it?
Yeah, I don't care.
We'll draw a picture of the shotgun.
So, you mentioned it before about your discomfort with my kind.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not wish to go into specifics, I do understand. But what events took place to give you such avarice?
When your kind murdered my entire family.
Remember their colors.
Green.
They have any marking?
Well, they have a couple bullet holes in them now, but, a couple tattoos, I guess.
Describe to me these tattoos.
Do I remember if the Duke had any, like, noticeable tattoos on him?
Yes. The Duke did have tattoos on him. However, you do recall that once he was finally slain, the tattoos seemed to dissipate from his skin.
That's right. And they were kind of magical.
Was it you that killed the Duke?
I mean, it was a team effort.
Who landed the killing blow?
I killed his mount. I think it was the bunny.
Warrior Zan, it was you that struck down the beast.
Yes. Did I also execute him? I think I executed him. Go through my memory.
His Rolodex.
I used to have a mini of the Duke somewhere. I don't know where he is.
Oh, that's Herman.
I do vaguely remember the mayor giving you guys the option of pulling the lever.
I did. I remember doing that part. I just couldn't remember how I did it.
Yeah, he swung.
Well, perhaps I could elaborate more on what it is that I seek your aid, if you wish to know.
Sure. I mean, if it'll all equate to less of his kind, no offense, not like orc kind, but like less of his evil ilk, then
Understand. Are you familiar with Seto?
Am I, DM?
Seto, the oceanic deity.
Oh. Yeah, very.
They have been asked, aided by Seto, to see orc kind trim down size. Coastal clans cause much issue in the oceans. Seto's domain she will no longer stand for. I am the instrument of her will. He has gifted me with... Oh, gift is a strong word. He's given me the ability to see it done. Realms where she does not have tightly closed fist away from the water's edge.
Are you familiar with these critters called grime?
Master?
You have no idea what he's talking about.
I'm unfamiliar. Please educate me.
Oh, fairly attractive looking squid creatures who tried to kill us multiple times on the ocean.
The son just looks over. What?
Well, you remember them, don't you?
Yeah, attractive is not so bad I would use.
Well, I mean, they looked good looking, like intimidating and good looking. And anyway, they tried to kill us, and they were, I wouldn't say spawns of Seto, but related, distantly, twice removed.
Damn, they're not from Seto at all, are they? I could have swore they were from, like, my neck of the woods.
Distant
I'm
cousin.
like 99.9% positive they're from my neck of the woods.
Roommate.
Oh, man.
Ez doesn't know this. He just
Yeah, no.
thinks that they were
Yeah,
cool
no.
looking.
Okay, we're good. No, I found it in my notes. Yeah, they're from my realm. Son is correcting you. Yeah, no, that's not true at all. They have nothing to do with Setos. They are from, me.
Oh, so they
My
were after
place.
you. You do admit it. Okay.
No,
all right,
I
good.
meant
Glad
to
we're
from-
clearing that up.
No, no. If after all of you for some strange reason, I don't know why I was even with you guys when that happened.
Anyway, tangent aside, why did Seto task you with this?
Oh. What better way to strike to annoyance than to use one of their own? It was years ago. I was prosecuted, taking the life of chieftain's son. And you can imagine the way that orc business is handled. It is rather unpleasant.
Yeah.
I was asked the water. And Seto saw fit to grant me my request. Vengeance. Decades have gone by. Almost speech patterns have improved greatly over that time.
I mean, you speak very eloquently.
I thank you.
Even Tanaka kind of like nods his head in kind of agreement to that statement.
To many of my former brethren, focus their wants and needs on the intellectual aspects of life. But they have the time.
So, your task for revenge, is it to go after an individual or a group of individuals?
Oh. I would say group. Needs to be a calling. I am to be its herald. But I require a Tempest to assist me.
But you have my sword.
I know the motives of both warriors on Tempests. The others, they seem very distant. It's Moriko and Kasumi.
I think distance not the right word. I think guilt, self,
Shame?
shame. Yeah, no, flagellation? Flatulation?
Flatulence?
Yes.
Flatulence?
Self-flatulation. And,
I do not think that word means what you think.
You keep using that word.
it sounds right to me, so. And self-flatulation. And, what's the third one? And coming to terms with what has happened, even though, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to forgive. This country has treated Kasumi exceptionally poorly, and even if 100 people were to die, I still don't feel that the trade would have been worth it.
Master, I cast tongues on myself, and I speak to Tanaka and Takatari.
Okay. He does a double take as you start speaking to him in his own tongue.
Soldier. What say you about this company? Talks they cannot understand.
I think they are dangerous. With a very pointed glance towards Zahn. Lunatics. And danger follows them from everything I've heard at this table. I wish for them to be out of my country as soon as possible, but the Shogun's words will not be denied.
I'm curious. More on this medallion. Cause for the strife. You know of it. What is its purpose for the shogunate?
The history of the medallions is to symbolize the peace between Takatari and Aslan. The dragon lover deities willed that we do not fight each other, and the symbol of such is the jade medallion owned by the Shogun and the gold medallion owned by the current Empress of Aslan. When it was taken, until it was found, there is every possibility that it was a declaration of war.
And still speaking in Atari.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Kasumi who was supposedly the one who had stolen the artifact.
The White Fox was notorious, infamous, for taking things of what did not belong to her and leaving behind a very particular wooden token. Supposedly, one need only bring said token, and she would return what was taken. She claimed it was a game, something that was fun, that everyone enjoyed. Though most would say it was only her who enjoyed it, and this token was left behind in the place of the medallion, so...
It was not Kasumi who had stolen this relic.
This I do not know. These are the rumors of what I've heard. He kind of, like, gestures at himself. Like, he really only has, like, shoulder pauldrons, like, thigh coverings. Like, he's not fully decked out. He doesn't seem to be very high in the echelon of the Takatari military. I only hear the rumors of what makes it through the garrisons. I do not get to sit in on the Shogun's court. I do not know the intricacies, only what is widely accepted as fact within Chunsu.
What is your evaluation of Kasumi? You see her as the thief.
She was my idol. She once stole something from my family when I was a child, and I saw her movements, her grace, and it was enthralling to me. I wished to be able to learn how to move like that in stealth. Until a few days ago when I found that her and her friends are simple murderers.
You've spoken to the others about that day. I wish to see if the stories match up. I had heard that Shogun sent of his advisors with many of your friends armed. Collect the medallion.
I was there for this, yes.
That they approached spears, shields. You think it was not correct of them to defend themselves from incarceration?
As you say, you have heard but one side of the story.
It is why I'm talking to you.
The Chief Advisor of the Shogun, Okazaki, was sent to retrieve what is rightfully the Shogun's. With the tumultuous nature of the country as it is, warehouses being attacked, nobles being ransacked for their goods from some of the populace, the Shogun did not find it pertinent to leave the safety of his palace, so he sent those that were underneath him to retrieve what was rightfully his, what rightfully belonged to the dynasty.
Such a great relic, symbol of peace. In Takatari and Aslan, he felt the need to send an underling, recover it.
His right-hand man.
Yes.
So
It's interesting.
Okazaki was sent to retrieve it. All they needed was to hand it over. And the White Fox decided that she would be stubborn and demand that she deliver it herself. I do not believe that they fully understand that normal people do not get to simply demand that they see the Shogun. That is not how things work.
Horrible.
And they were given a choice to give up the medallion as requested, or it will be taken forcefully to be returned to its rightful owner. When they chose the latter path, the Chief Advisor ordered that they be arrested, detained. They were then slaughtered. There was to be no harm done. We were all given our orders as we left for that day, that they were to be apprehended.
This voice to the Tempest. They told, will not be harmed, but you will be coming with us.
They were to be apprehended. The key word, apprehended. Not harmed, not
Tanaka,
slain.
You and I both know That word does not cancel out the fact. Clear visage between these two parties was not met. If you were in the place of the Tempests, surrounded, foreign guards, closing in around you, you have defended your own, same brothers that were felled. Would you have let them clap irons on you, do what they will with you?
Had I been in their position and been approached by a contingent of Redguard, and those that have reached a position of authority within my country, yes. In the same token of which you say, after that day, after they kidnapped me and eventually let me go, I wish to clean my hands of this lot and never see them again. My trust in them had been shattered. And yet, I am loyal to my country, my Shogun, and he demanded that I escort them on their journey. So, reluctant though I am here. Because I obey those of which I have pledged my loyalty, and to uphold the laws that I swore to uphold.
Understand this. Do, truly. Does it not make you wonder why they were so adamant this medallion be returned, Shogunate personally? Maybe a matter of trust. The arriving party could have put them on the back foot. Such a powerful omen. Peace between two nations. What say you on this?
What I say is that none of you are from this country. None of you understand our ways, our traditions, the way that we do things here, and that the Redguard and those who rule over us are supreme, and we do what they say. It is a difference culturally that I do not believe transcends nations' borders, and because of that particular understanding, many of my friends and compatriots are now buried, families ruined. I do not expect them to understand or to apologize. I simply wish for them to do what they were sentenced to do and leave. Or at the very least to see myself away so that I may never encounter them ever again.
Someone who has lived a very long time, experienced much, I say to you, bring hate not serve you. It will not bring you peace. If you wish, may be able to grant you sweet succor.
Let me say this. I do not wish them harm. I simply wish to have nothing more to do with them. It is easy to say to not hate and not to loathe, but the wounds are still but days fresh. I was not allowed to mourn. I was forced to be in the presence of those who I watched murder my friends. So, I am sorry, but I believe at this point in time the conversation is over. I am tired and I do not wish to speak of this further with someone so fresh to this whole ordeal. I do appreciate your help in saving me. My animosity is not towards you, as you had nothing to do with it.
I only wish to grant you the ability to mourn, should you wish it.
I do not know you well enough for whatever it is you may be trying to do. I ask that you give me space, give me time. I am merely here to give a message to the daimyo of the Yutsushige lumberyard and to make sure that they do not do anything they should not be doing. So he swaps now to common. I bid you all good night. I am going to go find a quiet corner. Good night. And he stands up from the table, and you can see that he's kind of like looking around for a spot that might be decent, but since everyone is basically downstairs, he goes up onto the second floor and disappears from view for the time being.
I'm muted.
But did your conversation not go well?
There is a youthful ignorance. But
To each their own. The VC what we did is right.
does come from understanding.
Listen, he did what he was ordered to, and as far as I'm concerned, I do not take orders from anybody here, but my reasoning for what I did is probably the same as his. So, I cannot be mad at him, nor can I be upset. Things like this have no...
Spoke fondly of Kasumi.
Yeah, see, a lot of these people speak fondly of Kasumi, yet, as far as I'm concerned, this country has caused her a great amount of pain. Wrongfully so. And she harbors, somehow, no negative feelings about it. At least none that she has ever said. Well, I wouldn't say negative, but nothing proportionate to the crimes she was accused of, and the banishment, and, you know, the blame, and all of that stuff.
Is what you know of...
Say again,
What
it
do I
didn't come
know?
through.
Do you know of Kasumi?
What do you mean?
Type of person is she?
She's fox. Like an nine-tailed fox. And she's nice. Extremely forgiving, usually. Unless you upset her, then she just has like this unreasonable anger and or stubbornness. Which is kind of funny and admiring at the same time, but, you know, it is what it is. And she likes tea. Like leaf water. Way too much. But not as much as I like alcohol, so I can't really judge her.
Yes.
That's a good generalized thing to go off of, but I mean, she's also very kind, knowledgeable, honorable, honest, friendly, helpful, murderous. When the time comes, like, she will easily snipe someone more than me. But mystical, I guess. I'm not into the whole religion kind of thing, but I mean, the patron that she follows and worships seems to have a liking to her, which is great for us. But at the same time, she can also be terrifying in a good way.
Patron you speak of. Who is it?
Big Noodle Dragon. One of the two.
Chinche.
I mean, Pez doesn't properly know the names.
Oh yeah, sorry. If you're not down there, Mariko, a relationship.
Get that one. Shishi. Shin Ni.
Shinra.
Jinshay.
Yeah, that one.
A bone to pick with that god.
I don't have any bone to pick. Well, I have a lot of bones that I could pick, but not with that one. I have a lot of bones. Last I counted, 332. Some of them broken.
Come on.
Well, there's much damage amongst your group. It must be mended.
But damage. I'm doing quite fine.
Well, you may be, but I don't think the ladies are.
Not talking about damage that can be seen.
Like internal bleeding.
No, not like that. I think
What?
what he's getting at is like emotional, or like the group dynamic is off. Like the whole thing that we have going on is kind of.
Oh,
upside
you mean
down.
that I think it's a funky shui?
The what?
This is a funky shui.
Why is the chair levitating?
Speak to Zahn in Rokesian.
You must understand,
Oh.
a hot fire is not where it is supposed to be.
You can see the gerbil moving, even in Rokusin. Zahn is wise when it comes to certain things, but mostly inept. Don't you fucking nod your head at me, God!
A hot fire is not in the right place.
Maybe.
It is up to you. And Pez, fix it.
Don't do good with fixing things. I like breaking them.
Should start. Be an ally and friend.
He treats them like friends.
Covering someone in a battle, not the only way to be a friend. On the Rokusin.
Maybe.
Switch back to common.
Would you prefer we talk like kobolds?
They'll look over at Pez.
Yeah, I don't care. Not all of them sound like me. But I mean, if you want to talk like this, you can.
It hurts my voice to keep it like this.
That kind of doesn't fit your whole 400 times my
Tomato.
size vibe.
We'll switch back to common then. To check on your allies. Of you. Be their state of mind. The battles to come must be ready and willing.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me just reassemble all my guns.
As like all these conversations have been going on, I've just like completely disassembled all my guns and laid out all the parts, scrubbed them clean, and then I need to reassemble.
Sorry, I just had a really terrible mental image of Pez cleaving the barrel with his tongue, just like
Man.
No.
Just limit.
right. But if,
Eyes just look outward.
if you knew Pez, you would understand that that's not inaccurate of a possibility.
Gunpowder's a good spice.
And now you know why I cook. I'm going to go find.
Speaking of, as this has been going on, it is now nighttime. Ladies, you being up on top of the wagon. Kasumi, you've not been bothered since you were asked if you had named Brick. Are you two doing anything up top? Are you just watching the road? Playing rock, paper, scissors? You know, boulder, parchment, shears?
Kasumi was just kind of laying there on her elbows since she was too lazy to go back into fox form. And she's kind of looking forward, laying on her stomach, enjoying like a little bit of a breeze in her hair.
Mariko is sitting crisscross applesauce on the roof above the bench. Straight back, eyes straight forward. She's not moving, but after a while, especially like once the sun had set, she's finally letting tears fall down her cheeks as mentally she has just been berating and beating herself for the lives that she mistakenly took.
Don't make me cry.
She is not happy with herself, and this is her moment to finally grip with what she has done.
Okay. Is there anything that anyone else is doing this evening? Okay.
Oh no, I need to find Tanaka.
Okay.
We need to bed.
It's not difficult to find him. He has kind of squirreled himself away into the little nook where Shenshei's altar is. He just kind of has his back up against one of the walls, and he just kind of has arms folded to support himself, and he's just kind of letting his chin rest against his chest.
Is he asleep?
Make a perception check.
Sure. I'm very perceptive. 24.
His breathing is very rhythmic. It's difficult to tell if he's actually asleep or if he's in the process of getting to sleep.
Okay, so I can't remember how many beds our bonus room has in it, regardless.
Just the one.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go up to him softly, jostle him awake if he's not awake.
There's the slightest flinch, and one of his hands kind of gives more of a twitch than the rest of him. But he kind of looks up at you. Am I not to sleep here?
I'm on very soldiers. There's a bed for you. I'm gonna walk down the hallway and open the door to the room with a bed in it.
He kind of just like leans to look down the hallway and just sees you being like.
Please use it.
He. Make a persuasion check.
Sure. That's charisma. I got some decent charisma. Oh, that was really good. Persuasion? Oh,
Starts
plus
with a P.
6. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. He hesitates. But seeing your relative insistence and knowing your personality, he decides to get up and go into the room that you offer him.
Take it from me, or don't. You're not the only one to have lost people in your life, and even though I might have been one of the ones to take them.
I really wish for you to stop talking right now.
Yes, it does not mean I do not still feel sorrow for them. I just have a very awkward way of explaining, or,
Expressing.
Yes! Thank you, voice in the sky.
You are still talking.
Yes, expressing, and, good night, and Zon's gonna shut the door. And then, just go up to check on the ladies, make sure they're okay.
Okay. You hop up into the turret. You see, Kasumi, you're still human form?
Yep.
Okay.
She's laying flat on her stomach.
Do I just see tails?
Just tails.
And the faint pink glow of Moriko, occasionally lit. It rhymed. Little fireflies floating about, illuminating her every now and then. The wagon is still just slowly trundling along.
You, Moriko, Kasumi, ladies doing okay?
Yeah, I guess. Good as we
Riko's
can.
not moving.
Moriko asleep?
She's been very quiet.
Okay. Well, it's getting late, so make sure you, get some of that sleep. All right, defeat descent. I'll just fucking leave in that awkward situation.
Okay. Are you two gonna stay on the roof for the evening? All right. Anyone else? Anything else?
I'm going to retreat to my condo in the bench.
Okay. Mariko, sometime in the night you hear the faint scratchings of Pez, like moving through the air ducts into his little cushioned condo.
Slurping.
Yeah, you hear the scales just gripping like a snake and just like pulling him along through the little crawl spaces. It's not a sound you haven't heard before, so it's not startling to you. You kind of figure out what it is. As the night goes on, each of you eventually find... does everyone eventually go to sleep at some point? Is anyone staying up? Okay. Well...
I don't need to.
Okay. So, Lakin, where are you going to be for the duration of the night?
I believe the kitchen is the only place big enough for me to occupy.
You could be in the bay window chairs. They're oversized.
Did he get a tour?
I mean, you could
Then
see
walk
them
around.
See them from the kitchen, but no, I don't think he's been given a tour yet.
Did walk up to the bench area where Tanaka and Mariko were when we had our first conversation.
Right, but you hadn't been shown like the different rooms and all. Okay.
No.
Yeah, one of the high back chairs would be big enough for you.
Okay. I would probably sit in that chair and pull this book off my hip. Is wrapped in chain. It looks like it's got coral and stuff all throughout the chain and on the covers. I open it up and I just start thumbing through it.
Okay. Some of you find restful sleep. Some of you find no sleep. Others are a little bit troubled, but eventually you all do get a long rest. And as we reach on into the next day, that's where we're going to take a quick little break. So we'll be back in just a moment to see what lies in store for the next day. So don't go too terribly far. We'll be right back. And we're back. So, the night wore on without much of a fuss. Cassie slowed her pace a little bit to give just a little bit of a softer ride for those that were, the two of you that were still sitting outside of the wagon. Nothing comes to bother you. There's no other travelers on the road. At least not throughout the middle of the night.
Like, and you're getting a nice treatment of Rokasinian sleep. Very loud snoring that you can tell is super awesome.
Where did you
Sorry,
sleep,
I'll cast silence
son?
on your ass.
In the other chair.
You just cone of silence right over top of Son.
In the other chair.
Pez, true to his word, is sleeping underneath the table. Zon at some point had come and sat in a chair, kicked his feet up, passed right the fuck out. You never saw the ladies again. They hadn't come back down so far that you were aware. Eventually, the wee early hours of the morning start to peek over the far horizon off to your left, which, with you being in the bay window, you see hints of it coming through the one angular part on the left side of you. And glancing around, you would see some of it coming in through the singular kitchen window over the wash basin. Mariko and Kasumi, you two, of course, would be the first ones to really get a sense that it is becoming daytime. Throughout the night, the road had started to move slightly more to the west, and you got much closer than towards the trees that you had seen before, Mariko. But they still seem... No, sorry. Hang on, let me check the map. Apologies. Might have gotten ahead of myself.
How dare.
I know, I'm just the fucking worst.
You're a monster!
To the left side of the road, as far as the eye can see, you see foot trails and desiccated fields. Even though all the life has basically gone away from these fields, you can see that they are in very particular angles, and each plot is at a different orientation. And just the way that they've been tilled this way for generations and generations, it almost seems just like a natural part of the landscape. And on your right, you are starting to see the trees that you had seen before getting closer and closer and closer. As the road begins to kind of curve just a little bit more towards the west. Maybe an hour or so after the sun had properly risen, before Zahn had even woken up in time for breakfast, there was another much larger road on the right that seemed to cut off, and Cassie, being a little bit hesitant, paused for a moment. And before you were even able to say anything, she starts to make a right turn to go down the street. Or down the next road, not the street. Seems to be taking you directly towards the looming trees in the distance. So, as consciousness comes to the rest of you that either needed to sleep or needed more than 4 hours of sleep, the day is yours. What would you all like to do? As Moriko and Lakin, you were probably the only two awake at the time to see Cassie make that turn almost on her own.
I would wish to go up.
Up. Okay. You go up to the second floor towards the turret you had seen before. And as you are walking down the very beginning of the hallway, of those first two doors, the one on your left, you can hear the faint sounds of movement from someone inside.
My deductive reasoning would tell me that this is most likely Tanaka.
So, if you ignore the sounds and you go on up to the turret, you would say, I'm curious, Kasumi, how you were sleeping. Like, are you a belly sleeper, back sleeper? You got, like, legs propped up on the central arch? How have you slept?
When she eventually started getting, like, actually tired, she did shapeshift back into fox form, and she very much donut slept, like, curled up into a little ball, shoved her nose in her tail.
Okay. So you see a mound of white fluff. And then you see the pink highlighter looking towards the front of the wagon.
Rico.
She hesitates and her head twitches and she kind of looks back towards you.
Wish for company.
Only if you have nowhere else to be, I guess.
And where I belong.
I don't know.
What I mean, I have nowhere else to be. If you're reflecting, I'll leave you to your solace.
I feel like if I keep getting lost in my own head, I'm just gonna make myself feel worse and worse.
Why are you lost?
Because I made a grave mistake and it took lives that should not have been taken. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder if leaving the Tapeta Mountains to join the Tempests was a mistake.
You're not perfect. Know that. Hate to tell you this, but no one is. You carry a burden. Yes. how you learn those burdens, those mistakes. You see to it, you do not repeat them. What makes good soul?
If you're looking at her face, you can tell she's like trying to stop herself from letting any more tears shed.
Kim would
I didn't-
approach you and a knee down in front of you, like a good 3 to 4 feet away.
Mm-hmm. She's just gonna put her gaze down. I didn't mean to hurt them. I was scared. Surrounded by people I didn't know, holding weapons. People I saw as friends were being closed in, and I was just trying to push them away. But I drowned them. I shouldn't have done it.
Rico, come a wild place, yes.
Yes.
Do you
I'm not
know
used to people.
wolves? Do you know of wolves?
Wolves?
Yes.
We saw one a little while ago. Wait, DM. Were there wolves in the Tepetl Mountains or no?
No. You mostly dealt with elementals, some birds, some flying creatures, maybe some aquatic things, but nothing that would really run in a pack like that.
Okay. First time I came across a wolf was while we were here. It was alone, and I mimicked its cry to have it keep distance.
Are you aware that Lone Wolf is destined for a life of hardship, turmoil? The wolf is a part of the pack, destined to fruition. Life of fulfillment. Understand this?
It sounds about right.
Imagine yourself, wolf, friends, the men that approached you as hunters. Do not wish to hurt the hunter. You will defend your pack. Yes.
I was scared that they were going to hurt Kasumi.
You did nothing wrong, child.
Why does civilization have to be so rough?
Don't think of it as different. Nature is all symbiotic. Nature takes some of civilization, much as civilization takes away from it.
This specific civilization is very weird.
You ever met an orc clan?
I don't know.
No. Let's just say that of the entire world, it says that you've been, things that you've seen. Everywhere is different. Everywhere. The steepled mountains, the way to the rolling seas. You have to understand. Understand. To realize the choice that is made is not damning. And intent was out of pure-heartedness. The mistake was on the hunter. Approach such wolves as you.
You're a very kind person.
I've not always been such.
But you are now.
Try. It's the only thing you can do.
Thank you. This actually did help.
I'm not the only one in need of mending. I look over at the ball of fluff.
You're next, Buttercup.
Next patient, please.
Perhaps words that I use could use an ally, a friend, Kasumi.
Kasumi's situation is interesting.
I've heard.
From what I've seen, she was told to do a specific task. Someone tried to change that task and it flustered her. She stuck to what she was told and she was reprimanded for it. That's why I think that this place is so weird. It is so much different than how nature normally works, and I'm getting very fatigued of people.
To dishearten you, people are people, and they will be people. Not sequester yourself away to some lonely mountain. You have such vibrant color to bring to others.
To be fair, I wasn't always highlighter pink, as some people have called me.
Feel called out for some reason.
Think. Wounds heal in time. You have to understand. It's going to be okay.
I hope it will be. Although if Tanaka's keeps making jabs, like he has been, I may or may not just shove him off the roof.
Yeah. To your collar.
I'm in danger.
Worth the risk.
Perhaps. Moment of clarity. Must understand his pain before you can forgive your own. He's young, full. Will you understand? May not want to, but you do.
He's just very... what's the way to put it?
Dick.
Black and white. He's either one way or the other. There is no middle point.
I tell you that those are the colors that you see on the surface. What lies underneath, tumultuous. Cannot forsake brutality, feelings he had previously. May wish to, they are still there. Down. May even understand. Oh. I think you should do. Hold your head up. Be proud. Sulkiness does not serve you.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Although, to be completely honest, if you try to talk to Kasumi, I'm not sure how readily she'll open up to you.
That's why I
Even to me.
suggested you do it.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Just remember, our first interaction, she fired an arrow right underneath my ear.
Yeah.
Excellently placed shot, but I do not know if it was intended not to hit me.
I think it was more of a warning.
The warning was received. Should speak with her. Well, to go.
Rika's gonna look back at the ball of fluff to see if maybe she has woken up at all from the talking.
Yeah, DM, did you get my message?
Oh, I need you to make a stealth check.
Okay.
Oh.
Runs away.
That is a 24.
So Lakin would not have noticed you. Moriko would have noticed you.
Mm-hmm.
Get away from the druid.
Kasumi is not there.
And like I noticed earlier, she has just removed herself from the situation.
Running from the uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. I think she also knows that I'm still not very happy that she lied.
Oh. I'm not going to talk her down. I'm not sure she does not wish to shoot me. Perhaps.
I'll see if I can talk to her.
Could be good.
Lakin will kind of like kindly look down as I stand up at Mirko, nod in her direction, and give like a brief smile. They look a little off-putting because of how like gray and dead-like I look, but I walk back downstairs.
Mariko is going to give back a smile.
Partway through your conversation, Zahn and Pez, you two might have been roused by the sound of footsteps coming down. Tanaka had woken up, gone down into the kitchen, let himself into the pantry. Looked like he grabbed a single thing of meat, opened up the side door, and hopped out so that he could walk alongside the wagon.
Dude.
Did he just take our food?
Without even asking.
Don's gonna scuffle over to the door.
Could always
Stick
just
his
make him jog the whole way again.
Stick his head out. You could have at least asked.
I did.
Who?
Your wagon told me I could get what I needed.
I say,
What?
why did you do that? It was very nice of you, but why did you do that?
He asked me nicely.
Oh, okay. You left. Never mind. Never mind, then. You enjoy that meat. And the walking. Just gonna close the door.
Sumi is now in the kitchen making tea.
Where the hell did you come from?
Yeah, she just appeared.
If it isn't the tea gremlin. Good morning.
Tea?
Morning.
Yes, Pez?
You just calling people funny names?
I do that on occasion, yes.
Do I got a funny name? That smile says I do.
I'm sure he could find one for you.
It's a dirt goblin.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. I was just going to be more derogatory, like fuckhead, but yeah, that works.
Why would I say that? I would not call you that unless you insulted me in some way, shape, or form. But I would never do that.
Yeah, I mean, you good.
Never.
Anyway.
Say never.
Would either of you like anything for breakfast? Kasumi.
Bread?
Bread? That is not fulfilling breakfast.
Sure it is.
Can be.
Well, we are fresh out of bread. Looks like I'm gonna have to cook you something.
No,
Zon's gonna
that's
walk
right
in the
there.
pitcher. No, nope. Zon takes the bread, throws it in the pitcher. I have bread. Good. Cook something for breakfast for everybody.
You took the bread and threw it back into the pantry.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
It's like nonchalantly. Just grabbed it, threw it, did pretend it didn't exist. Zon's getting food, it's making everybody breakfast. Fuck it.
Kasumi,
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna make you some leaf juice? I mean, tea?
As she's actively pouring it into her glass. Yes.
No.
Is there enough for me?
It's a basically endless supply.
Oh, hell yeah. 1 cup, please.
He holds out
Okay.
his coffee mug. That's
Okay.
like brown.
She's like peeking in. Is there still coffee in it?
Probably.
No, it's well seasoned, though.
Okay.
God, I hate that.
Like a cast iron skillet. I like it.
So completely drank all of it, but never cleaned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cowboy coffee style?
Yep.
Okay, mm-hmm. Yep, she's
The grounds
gonna,
add
like-
texture.
Now I don't remember with the tea weird, can I choose the flavor of tea?
I believe that is correct. It's been a minute since we've looked at it.
Okay.
Mariko is gonna come down to the kitchen after a minute.
Is there coffee tea?
No.
Coffee
Coffee is
I would
coffee,
hate
tea
it,
is tea.
but-
Depends. The quick answer to that, no. Yet.
Coffee is coffee, tea is tea.
Well, I mean, like coffee beans, they have leaves, like the coffee plant, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
but when you brew it, it becomes coffee.
But what if it
Or
became
the leaves.
tea?
I don't know if the leaves are edible.
Listen, Pez, I promise you something. When I learn how to cast Vish, I will Vish for coffee tea.
So the tea weird is able to heat up the water and brew the tea from whatever is put into it. So
Okay.
whatever flavor you would need, you would have to add.
Oh, okay. So, looks like I've only got like the jasmine and stuff that I've been drinking.
As likes it.
So, yep. Gonna pour him some jasmine tea in his coffee ground cup.
So, like, and you would come down to see this. I don't know if you're a tea drinker or a coffee drinker, but you may potentially be very insulted by this sight of dirty bean water mug being filled with, as he calls it, leaf juice. When the teapot is set down, even though it is sitting stationary, you hear the faint sounds of glooping, like water kind of like splashing into itself to the point where even the lid kind of seems to jiggle a little bit every now and then. Okay. Anyone? Nothing?
Riku's gonna go sit at the table.
Zon's cooking. Zon's cooking whatever he can find in the pantry that seems good.
Okay.
Besides bread.
Yep, no bread for you.
Bacon, though.
So, the smells of breakfast meats, no bread, apparently.
Maybe some greens, because I can at least respect the lady's taste for not wanting just meat.
So,
I wanted bread.
Well, you're not getting bread!
You're getting?
Get it up and make what I want!
as he just like angry bunny slams his foot on the floor.
Yeah, you see the bunny foot thumping.
Thump.
I love when rabbits do that.
I do too. That's what Zon is doing. Zon puts all the food on there and it's like, please take what you want. Zon will look over at Lakin if Lakin is in the room. Lakin, are you in the room?
I'm in the room.
You too!
Can I get some bread with this?
We'll pass.
Zon's gonna lean over.
No.
Kasumi's gonna try to stealth and go steal the bread.
Make a stealth check.
Okay.
But it casts lightning, cast something electricity-wise on the door. Try grabbing the handle when it kills you!
The 26.
26.
Wow.
I would say that with Pez distracting Zon with the questions and just the overall chaotic nature of cooking, you'd probably be able to sneak past and get something out of the pantry.
She's gonna emerge behind Pez's shoulder with one like hunk of bread in her mouth, like her little like canines are stuck in it, and she's gonna hand him a piece.
Oh, thank you.
Zon just stares at the bread menacingly.
Just a little. No.
You're not going to eat any of the foods that I made, and you're going to eat bread instead.
That's what I wanted.
I wasn't talking to you. I'm already mad at you. Looking
Okay.
at Pez.
What'd I do?
You're just going to eat bread, no meat?
I mean, I'm eating meat too. I'm just wanting some bread.
Oh, okay. So you get a pass. So just looks at Kasumi disappointedly. Not even anger. Just gonna sit down and start eating.
Mariko?
Mariko has chickmunk cheeks full of bacon.
At least somebody enjoys mine cooking. Thank you, Mariko.
Huh?
Pop, pop. All right. As some of you enjoy a well-cooked breakfast, some enjoy carbs.
Mm-hmm.
A few hours go by as Cassie continues to trundle along at her fairly moderate pace. Tanaka does have to do a little bit of a jog to properly keep up, but he's not having to strain like when Mariko was in charge. Yes.
Little me.
By the time you were all done eating and talked a little bit more, any of you that happened to go and look out any of the windows, it's very clear to see that the trees that you are approaching are massive, massive trees. And as time goes further and further on, they keep getting bigger. It looked like you were kind of close to the forest edge, but you're still heading towards them, and they are just getting larger and larger and larger. Bigger than any trees that any of you, except for Kasumi, has seen before.
This must be the sequoias.
Big
I
stick.
bet it would hurt if one smacked you with its entire trunk.
Yes.
I made you bacon.
No, not you. If
Oh.
someone attacks us, you know how I make the plant life come to life?
Oh God! Oh, fuck no.
You didn't.
I've
do
made
that,
a
did you?
mistake.
Oh, he froze.
eyebrows
Oh,
go?
he froze.
Wait, I froze?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah, you froze it like that.
Oh, I went, oh no, I've made a mistake.
That's where you froze.
Wow.
Okay. A few more hours go by. It's getting nearer to lunchtime when you hear Tanaka calling from outside. He kind of gives a little bit of a shout, and then he comes and he hops up onto the step and opens the side door. And he peers his head inside, and he's kind of breathing a little bit heavier. He's not like out of breath, but he's definitely been exerting himself for the better part of the day. And he kind of points towards the front of the wagon, towards the bay windows. We are nearing the Yutsushige lumberyard. I am going to assume that we will be receiving company soon to inquire of what we are doing here. So I am going to run ahead a little bit to see if I can forestall any potential aggravated interruptions.
Need someone to go with you, Tanaka.
No, please let me do this.
I have a feeling that you're going to badmouth us.
No, I am going to prepare them for you.
Yes, that's what I said, badmouth.
How far ahead is he pointing? Like, is it pretty visible?
If you look through the front bay windows, the trees aren't near to you, but they're still towering over you. About a good, 600-800 yards on either side of the wagon before you get to the closest tree. But they're still casting shadows. Way far ahead in the distance, maybe the size of your hand, you see what looks like sort of similar to what the Shogun's palace looked like. Maybe not quite as extravagant. There's no walls, but you can definitely see a large angular roof structure, multi-tiered, off in the distance, that he had gestured towards.
So, do you want us to stop here and wait?
No, continue your speed. You will catch up sooner than I would expect, I assume. And he looks towards you, Zon, and he takes a deep breath. I swear upon my honor, as a Redguard, I will not badmouth you.
But I appreciate that.
I will see you all in a little while.
If anybody offers you breakfast, please tell them no.
He leans back inside. You do realize that it is reaching midday.
I'm just saying.
Let's try to avoid any mysterious
You
touches.
see the just frustration, like the quasi eye roll as he shuts the door, hops off, and you see him taking off at a decent clip, getting ahead of the wagon.
If y'all need me, I'm going to be keeping an eye on him.
I'm going to transform the multi-tool into its rifle configuration with the scope.
And I'm just going to pop up there, make sure he ain't doing nothing, running off. If he does, then he won't have a head anymore.
The cushion slowly lifts and the barrel comes out.
Target acquired.
Kasumi is going to go back to the roof and kind of perch up there to watch.
Okay.
Will accompany as well.
So everyone's to the roof?
Sure.
I'll stick my head out the door. The door's open. I'll just lean out the door. Just watch.
Okay. So you all watch Tanaka head off at a decent pace.
Actually, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Can I transform into... can I wild shape into a bird and follow?
Sure.
Okay.
Kind of burb.
Sparrow.
A sparrow.
Fine, a crow. I'll do a crow.
What is it? A pink crow?
Dark pink.
Dark pink, lightish pink tail feathers.
It's got
I'll
like a
never see
pink
it.
sheen to the
Yeah,
black
it's sort of like
feathers.
Oh, it's the
the-
iridescence is pink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. All right. So you all climb up onto the roof. Mariko is sitting there for a minute. She's like, duh. And takes off. Okay, so anyone that wants to make a perception check as you travel along?
Or
Am I included in that?
Are you perceiving?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you sure?
I mean, for all I
just
know, you want to be a
throwing-
crow and just start doing acrobatics and somersaults and shit and just not paying attention.
She's just doing crow things.
Crow.
God, Nim
17
has
for me.
corrupted us. 15?
18.
Nim has corrupted us.
17, Dungeon Master.
Got it.
16.
16.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
19.
Mariko.
28.
Hugh. Okay. Well, Mariko, with your elevation and being able to somewhat sneakily zoom on ahead, your crow eyeballs see movement in the trees. Some movement is closer, some of them seems to be further away. You take a bit more time to kind of bank around and take another closer glance at it. There seem to be a fair amount of dwarves running through the trees. They all seem to have packs on them. Some sort of metallic equipment. Doesn't look like weapons, but really, really complicated designs to them. You're not sure exactly what they would be used for. Further past them, some of the movement you're seeing further away, not so much bipedal, quadrupeds. Some of them big, some of them small. They're to the left or to the right, but all of them seem to be moving around much further in the tree line than what some of the other figures are that you're seeing. The rest of you would see Tanaka running forward. You would catch the occasional person off in the distance. They seem to be looking at some parchment, holding something up to their eye as they're looking down into the tree line. All of you notice that every single one of these trees seems to be very particularly grown. They're in rows. So when you get lined up with a tree, you see that tree and nothing else. But as soon as you get to the side, you just see straight, almost as far as your eyes can perceive, just rows and rows and rows of trees as you're going down. These all seem to be cultivated. Eventually, you do get closer to the structure in the distance, and as it gets nearer to you, there are a slew of smaller structures around it, but there is one central primary structure that seems a lot more extravagant than the others. The other ones look very utilitarian. There's a purpose to them. The central one seems to just be lavishness. Nothing really to do with the lumberyard, as you're starting to see more and more pieces of equipment. Wagons, giant saw blades, other bits of machinery that you're not entirely sure what they would even really be used for, except for maybe Zahn. Zahn, you would know that most of the uses of these with the woodworking, and even though you're not exactly particularly familiar with what the machines would do, just being able to see them and what kind of blades they have, you can kind of piece together that this one's like a planer, like a giant planer. Like instead of someone taking the time to do it by hand, this looks like something that could just and just take, slabs and chunks of wood off in one go. It's kind of impressive, and it's kind of giving you that itch to, to work on something. want to whittle again.
I need one of these trees.
All of you are beginning to see, as you get nearer to this whole facility, very, very large beasts of burden. No whips. There seems to be just people gesturing, pointing, calm words, and the beasts are just doing as they're told. Some of them have harnesses on and are pulling large slabs of lumber. Others are just wandering around. A little bit ahead of all of this, you see Tanaka is standing in the middle of the roadway and he's talking to another figure. And as Cassie's wagon gets closer to them, a lot of the workers are stopping and turning to kind of gawk and look at this rolling structure that is being pulled by nothing. And as you get right on up next, as Cassie gets closer to where Tanaka is standing, she leaves about 60 to 80 feet between the pair that are speaking and the wagon itself when she comes to a complete stop. And the Tanaka and the person he's talking to say a few more words, and then both of them turn and start walking towards the wagon. Let me see here.
Once the wagon makes it up to Tanaka and the guys, she's gonna go back to the roof and change back.
Okay. So the little raven crow thing that is Mariko.
Abomination.
I wouldn't say abomination. Flutters back down.
A fun abomination.
Did you dive bomb anybody?
Maybe one person, just to do it.
Just a crow. Crow's got a crow.
Crow's got a crow.
The figure that Tanaka is speaking to seems to be very plainly dressed. Is wearing what looks to be a very thick leather apron, a conical straw hat to keep the sun off of his head and neck. And as he gets closer, you can see that he has a tool belt that has different Zon you would recognize, files, handles of chisels, and other sorts of utility items, tools for the trade. He seems a little bit older. He's not old, like kind of around middle age. He's definitely had a good couple of seasons behind him. And Tanaka gestures at the gentleman. This is Foreman Kenjiro. He is in charge of the lumber yard and is essentially the second in command to the daimyo. So, the other gentleman kind of looks at you all and gives you a deep bow and snaps right back up. Hello, and welcome to the Yutsushige lumber yard. I am told that we were to be expecting you, though I do not know for what.
Just looks over at Tanaka. Can we say?
I was in the process of saying so when you arrived. You arrived quicker than I was expecting, but they are aware of your presence being here. Foreman Kenjiro, they are not so much here to interfere with your production or anything. We simply needed a base of operations before we venture out into and he gestures behind into your woods. We are sent here on a job from the Shogun to find the Weeping Sequoia. The foreman had been fairly calm and blank up until this point when you see his brow kind of furrow and he pulls the hat off of his head and grabs a rag from his waistband to kind of wipe his forehead and just kind of get the sweat off of him. You wish to go deep into the forest. This is not wise.
But we tend to do not wise things, so why?
Well, for one, the daimyo's protection does not go as far as the place of where you wish to go.
I don't need his protection. So...
She.
Sorry, she.
It is okay. I do not expect foreigners to know. You are currently in the lands of Daimyo Kasumi, the Beast Queen.
Son looks over at Kasumi.
Felt different.
Related?
Why is this related?
Related?
We just like tilts her head as on and then like gestures at herself.
Same name.
The daimyo's name sounded like it had like a t sound in it.
Oh, what I'm stuck on is the beast part. Care to explain? Oh, hi. Hello. I'm the couch.
You are definitely as strange as Tanaka said you would be.
It is strange.
You are all a very colorful bunch, many of which are species that I have never seen before.
Yeah.
Like what? Who haven't you seen?
Yeah.
I do not wish to insult anyone. It is just an observation.
No, please go on.
No, you're not insulting us. We're just curious.
Yeah.
Apart from the small kobold and your orcish friend, the rest of you are new to my eyes.
Oh, I'm lame. All right, cool.
Son pats Pez on the
Shove my
shoulder.
gun back.
You're not lame, Pez. It's okay. Such as much accurate.
Before I forget, Sir Tanaka, and you see Kinjiro passes a rock back to Tanaka, who quickly takes it and puts it into a pouch at his side. So, I can lead you as far back as I am able, but I am afraid that your curious mode of transport will not be able to accompany you.
She'll be fine. Just please do not go inside her.
She'll eat you.
Even Zahn looks...
I'm getting Monster House vibes now.
Just starts nodding at Cassie.
Do it. Well, please follow me. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer to the best of my ability, and I will try to give you as much information of the area as I can.
Are you a splinter?
No, I am the foreman.
I will never find anybody in the groups that I know.
Did you think he was a piece of wood stuck in your skin?
9 Pez. The splinters are a group of wood carvers, of which I belong to.
We do have those. It is simply not my sole task. My duty is to make sure that everyone is doing what they need to when they need to be doing it. Those, let me see what they're called. We have the fallers, the buckers. We have the skidders, chalkers, and the operators. Everyone has their own task, everything that they are good at. And he's kind of just pointing around the area, and you see a little bit further into the wood line, you see what appears to be a team of Goliaths, and they are working a saw at the base of one of these giant redwoods. you see another one has already been felled, and there's a group of halflings that are working to trim off the branches that are way higher up towards the peak. There's one dragonborn that seems to be pulling a larger branch from where one of the halflings had already chopped it off. There's work happening everywhere around the lumberyard, and it is a very busy, loud area. He gestures for you to follow and has to pause and look at the wagon again to see what is pulling or pushing it, but not really seeing anything. He just turns and walks with Tanaka keeping pace.
If you need the wagon to move, just walk up to the door and ask it and tell it where to go. You will understand.
I will take your word for it. I would be lying if I said that I was not intrigued, but unfortunately I have much to do today, so pardon me if I am a bit brusque, short. In any case, please follow me. I will lead you as far back as we are able to go. So he begins to lead with Tanaka walking beside him, and he begins giving you the general information about the area. The daimyo here has a way with beasts, and she has them patrolling the area and the grounds constantly. So long as you are not doing something you are not supposed to be doing, you will be left alone. They are merely here as defense.
Question. What kind of beasts?
All kinds. Large cats, the large reptilian sort, a pack of wolves that is further south of here. That is their general patrolling area. Trust me, so long as you see a beast and they seem to be looking away from the lumberyard, they are the daimyos. If they are looking at you, then I would be worried. So, as you can see, we grow these trees in fairly noticeable patterns. When you see that pattern begin to end, you are reaching the end of the daimyo's protection. You will be on your own with no assistance. While they may be a little bit more spaced out at this particular part of the forest, the further in you get, the more wild and dangerous they will become. They will not all be these majestic sequoias. They will be smaller, and it will get a little bit more confusing.
Okay.
This moss that Sir Tanaka has informed me you were looking for. Are you okay?
Huh? I stubbed my toe.
You were sitting still.
I stubbed my toe.
No one has gone to collect it in as long as anyone can remember. I do not even know if it currently exists or where it is. Unfortunately, I have no information to particularly give to you. All that I can say is to head west towards the edge of the mountain and try to listen for the sound of moving water. Now, I would be loath to let you go without giving you some warning. There are tales that some of the workers will say of those who have gone into the thicker woods to take a piss and never returned. Shadowy beasts snatch up hapless workers who wander too far, go where they are not supposed to, or that the very trees can close around and trap those who wander too far in an endless sort of maze. Some of this, I think, just is from the mist coming down from the mountains, a heavy fog, and they get lost, turned around, and something snatches them up. But so far as I am concerned, it is just hen's tails told around the cooking pots, just to scare some new workers who are here for the first time.
Well, to be fair, our legend is started from some truth.
I am not saying that it is impossible that workers have not gone unmolested or been taken. I myself have heard the cries of beasts and distant growls at night far beyond the daimyo's protection. And surely, once you get past our sphere of influence, you will be in the wilds once more.
Is that his if we have her? Zan is pointing towards Mariko.
What?
You have someone that speaks to the trees. And animals. And is pink.
If there are any other questions that I can give to you, I would be happy to try and answer them.
Where, direction-wise, should we start?
The best I can give you is to head west towards the mountain range. But again, I do caution you that once you get further into the forest, it will become thicker and darker.
Oh, the forest doesn't... And asks without sound. So the forest doesn't do anything if you set up camp in it, does it?
Not that I am aware. We have many logging teams who will go to work on a tree, and it becomes nighttime very quickly at certain points of the year, and instead of wandering around in the dark, they simply pick a spot, light a fire, and...
Oh, thank God. Okay, very good. That's all I need to know. How to ask the question without asking the question.
I'm now picking up what you were putting down. Okay. Anything else that I may be able to help with before you begin this trek?
Wait, is Tanaka coming with us?
Are you asking this as you, or are you asking Tanaka?
Oh, Tanaka, are you coming with us? Or are you staying here?
Oh, Sensei forbid, no. I am not going into those woods.
Okay. Do you want us to get you anything very a souvenir? Something to remember the location by? I guess not.
No?
If you say so.
He seems a little
Wasting
off-put by
time.
the question. Sorry, what'd you say, Lakin?
Wasting time.
If you have no more answers for me, then he kind of points towards a smaller-looking tree. Well, smaller compared to the others. Your cart, your thing will be safe there. That tree is not to be felled for another 10 to 15 years, and it is well out of the way of anyone else that would be working. And Tanaka speaks up at this point. I am more than happy to stay with your cart and make sure that it is not tampered with.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the plan? What sort of preparations are you all making?
Gather all my stuff and become Doom Guy again.
Get food, get ready to go, and or not get ready to get food and fucking eat us. Forest delete us.
Who's leading? Because I'm just going to start walking probably east. Even though we're supposed to go west.
That is why I'm happy we have the druid. Well, hopefully he knows what Way West is.
Do I know what Way West is?
You have the keen mind feed, don't you?
Isn't that supposed to be for, like, time of day and stuff?
Pretty sure you always know which direction is north.
Yes, I do.
You always know which direction is north.
Yes.
Even
I
on
remember
underground.
stuff about our party. I see. I know you better than you know yourself.
So, Mariko, do you know which way west is? No, but that's north.
To be fair, I personally have been awake since 5 in the morning, so...
I mean, we can wrap up pretty soon. We've gotten on to 3 hours. We'll go with just a little bit longer. Just a little bit.
The brain isn't braining, so I apologize.
No, but I also just kind of like that idea that you're just like a total smartass. Mariko, which way is west? I don't know. That's north.
Marika's just like, well, that way's north. I don't know which way west is from that, but that's north.
So I would look
Ever-
north and then
ever
point to the left.
enraged sleeping wargs that way.
How's it
Never
if you know which way
enraged
west
sleeping
is?
war. I kind of love that.
Another name for the episode.
Nah, I like the therapist one.
Listen. Look at it. Yes, sounds like okay, fast. Let's go. Sun starts walking west as well.
Okay. So, you all spend the next 45 minutes, an hour, because of the way that the trees have been planted, you're able to just walk straight west. Like, these trees have basically been planted in the main cardinal directions. And you do see, as Kenjiro had mentioned, that there are large lumbering beasts moving through the trees. Some of them seem to be passive herbivores in nature. Others are smaller but more fierce feline shapes, large fangs. They don't bother you. They seem to just be patrolling around. While they do occasionally glance towards you, their gaze seems to be mainly towards the west, the direction you are all heading.
Can I instinctively cast Speak with Animals just so I can hear what they're having to say?
Instinctively cast it, or are you casting it?
I'm casting it. I mean, my eyes are glowing, so I'm magicking.
Okay.
I want to cast Speak with Animals as well.
Okay. The pair of you cast Speak with Animals. The creatures aren't really saying anything. They're just keeping an eye out, looking at you, looking back, and keeping on walking. They're not talking to themselves, if that's what you mean.
So no hot goss, just animals.
Just animals walking at the moment.
It starts to get dark. Zon's going to start casting light on either his hand, his forehead, somewhere.
Walking past Pez. Doink!
Ow!
I can see. I'm blind.
You do walk for a fair ways, and you begin to see. It takes some time, and it almost sneaks up on you, because you kind of gotten a little bit used to just the very orderly rows of trees that before you even really seem to realize it, they started to kind of close in. And then the next thing you know, you're having to step around into the side around a tree. The first one that you've had to avoid in a very, very long time. The sun is still fairly high in the sky, and the canopy is not thick enough to completely blot it out, but there are a lot of shadows. Continue walking for some time more, and the large sequoias are not the only sources of vegetation in this area. Bushes become more prevalent, the roots far more unruly, creating potential tripping hazards if you're not paying attention as much as you should be. The patrolling animals are now nowhere to be seen. The last humanoid figure you had seen had been far off in the distance and seemed to be looking through what, for Zon's sake and probably even Lakin, looked to be a sextant of sorts and seemed to be taking some sort of measurement and writing down on a piece of parchment. He had glanced up to see you all walking through and kind of watched you for a little bit, but then as you just kept going, he just shrugged and kept taking his notes down. And that was, even then, was a good 20 or so minutes prior. So, as you move further and further into what is now the actual heart of the forest, no longer the lumber yard, what's the plan? What's the marching order?
Nobody walks out in front, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Second.
Do have enhanced visions. So will be third from the back.
Okay.
I'll take the rear.
Okay.
Just fair warning, if I do hear my name being called somewhere in the random forest, I'm walking towards it.
Who's got rope?
I do. And it's magical rope.
A very tiny cage you can fit in.
How small are we talking?
I mean, it's a soul cage.
Oh. What are we... I mean, who are we kidding? Pez doesn't have a soul.
Wow. He ate it.
All right. Is anyone keeping watch, or are you just kind of walking and hoping for the best?
Mariko's keeping an eye out.
Okay. So anyone that wants to make a perception check may make a perception check as you are walking along.
Right. Leading the group.
I have devil sight, Dungeon
Mhm.
Master.
Yes.
The entire forest is just full of devils. Every single tree's a devil.
They're all demons.
I mean, they're
Everyone remain
redwoods.
calm. We must leave.
I do not want to alarm anybody, but you should be alarmed.
Nobody panic. All right, Mariko, you seem very pleased with yourself.
29.
Jesus fuck.
1.
21. It's on?
27.
Fuck, Pez.
25.
Kasumi?
17. With my +3.
To be fair, if you're stealthing though, you're gone.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't have to see. He just has to be able to get away faster.
She doesn't have to be first, she just needs to not be last.
Yep.
All right. So, you continue forward. It had been a fairly sunny, fairly warm day. Cooling off a little bit now that the sun is being blocked by by the canopy. You're getting nice dappled rays, god rays coming through, lighting up the area. You're mainly walking through shadow, but every now and then you'll hit a nice pool of sunlight that reminds you that you are still in nature.
Nature.
So filthy.
There's not enough snow here.
So, Mariko and Zon, you two would be the first to hear the sound of what could maybe be heavy footfalls.
What direction do we hear from?
It seems to be somewhat ahead of you, a little bit to your left. It's difficult to tell exactly what it is, but you do hear the occasional grunt, or grunting-like noise, I should say.
Someone's gonna pull up long sword.
Very shortly after that, everyone else, except Kasumi, would hear it.
Is there a cadence of the footfalls?
Seems to be somewhat sporadic.
Okay.
Seems to be just kind of a meandering footfalls.
Someone brandishes longsword, and still keeping watch in that general direction, continue forward, but maybe a little bit more cautiously than before.
Okay. The terrain, while it becomes a little bit more hazardous with the roots, is also far less flat. You are beginning to encounter not like sheer cliffs, but outcroppings of rock that go 20, 30 feet up and then gently slopes back down. Well, a sheer cliff is in 100 feet up. It's not quite that high. It's a distance that if you were to jump down, you would only break 2 of your ankles.
20 feet? Not really.
Most people. Most people. It's much more difficult to keep line of sight in any one particular duration for long, whether it be the natural terrain or the trees themselves. There's a lot more underbrush. And as you go further and further along, especially, even for Kasumi, you're all hearing a fair bit more wildlife here. And it takes you a little bit of time to kind of recognize that you are hearing birds. You're hearing the chittering of squirrels, rustling in the underbrush off to the side. Insects. All of these sounds had been more or less completely absent for weeks now that you've been in the Takatari dynasty.
Sounds a little less.
A little what? Sorry?
He's more at ease, I guess. Because these are sounds that he's familiar with. He's gonna look back at the group, just see if everybody else kind of feels a little bit the same. Thank you.
They might be trying to focus on your microphone.
See if everybody's the same. If everybody's also a little bit more at ease, but.
Pez, are you still with the group? Did you wander off, Pez?
I didn't hear my name called, so nope.
Just checking.
I don't know, but there are bug sounds.
I'm keeping my radar dish active and floating, so.
Okay. Moving along a bit more. Moriko. You were the first to notice that there is a noticeable drop in temperature. And you spot a little bit of white on the as you're walking along a short ridge line. The ground to your left is fairly shallow, a little bit of a lump, but to your right is a bit of a cliff, a hill that seems to be sheared off, and you see a little bit of white dusting along the ridge above it.
Can I help you?
Yes.
Big baby needs to be coddled.
Mm-hmm.
Do we all also notice the whiteness as we get further closer?
I would say that with the marching order, Moriko would notice, shortly followed by Lakin and Pez, who would likely see her looking up at a weird angle towards a direction that seemed fairly innocuous at the time.
That snare.
Is it Portico?
Your Zahn's ears perk up immediately. What?
I don't know what that white stuff is.
Right stuff. Just hear Zahn start hyperventilating. Yeah.
Is it colder?
Very.
It is
Do not
noticeably
feel
it is
it.
noticeably colder. Like within the last 15-20 feet, you have felt the temperature drop.
Zahn just looks in the direction they're pointing. Does he see snow?
You would, yes.
We are going there before we leave this forest.
But ain't that the direction we're supposed to go?
Is that in the direction we're supposed to go?
Well, sorry, I may not have explained this well enough. There's a low cliffside, maybe 30 feet up, and in one little spot, there's white. The rest seems to be just like the forest around you, lush and green.
Would seek caution.
But it's snow.
I don't like
Just
it.
is isolated.
But snow?
Can't you create your own snow, Zahn?
But it's not the same. Like, magic snow isn't the same as freshly fallen snow. It crunches underneath your feet. Oh,
You
God,
are
I'm
you
so...
talking about like the yellow kind or what?
There's no such thing as yellow snow. It's alright.
Yeah, there is.
Lemon flavored.
So it just looks over at Mariko. You don't even know what snow is, do you?
No.
Look, well, we can come back to it. Maybe it will follow us, but we should
Zahn,
probably.
Yes.
as you say, you don't even know what snow is. The rest of you from behind him see something large fall just behind him and just lands with a heavy thud. A massive boulder fell. Had he been one step backwards, it would have crushed him. You hear from up above a grunt of disapproval. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Penis.
So, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Very lore heavy, talk heavy. Promise we'll get into some fun stuff on the next one. Yeah, I hope you all have a great weekend, a great week. We wish
A Merry
Kirsten-
Christmas, Kwanzaa.
Actually, well, yes, I'm getting to that. We wish Kirsten and James a very fruitful weekend as they move into a new domicile. And yeah, if I could be up there, I would give them a hand, but it's a bit far away for me. We should be back in the new year. Usual schedule, usual time. Hopefully everything's happy hunky-dory. So if you want to keep up with us and how all that's progressing, join the Discord and we'll let you know there if we're going to have to reschedule or whatnot. But hope you have a happy holiday if it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. What's the one that starts with an F that everyone's been saying recently?
Farquaad.
Fibonacci.
No.
Well, and Yule, of course.
Yule. Festivus, I think.
That's
what
what
I've
for
heard.
the rest of us.
Yeah.
Holiday.
Have happy holidays. Be safe. We want to see you come back. Any other questions, comments, concerns before we end off?
Join us in the future where our robot overlords have taken over in the year of 2025.
If you'd like to converse with Professor Lakin, we can set up a chat.
We can get you penciled in to meet with Dr. Lakin. All right. Be safe, be nice to each other. We'll see you the next time we go live. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to the Fools and Flagons podcast. If you enjoyed this past adventure of the Tales of Archeron, you can catch us live on Fridays at twitch.tv/foolsandflagons.